Hey, good morning, guys and gals. Today we're going to be talking about the monitor section for the X and M32 digital mixers. Now, this is going to be for your headphone output, as well as the two outputs on the back of the mixers for your studio or your sound booth. So let's go ahead and jump down into the X32 Desk Manual. Now, just because we have the rack or the compact or the producer, pretty sure even the core, it really doesn't matter. I'm running the latest version of the firmware, and all of this is going to apply to what we're going to be looking at, okay? And we'll be doing this through X32 Edit. All right, so let's go ahead and see what the manual has to say. If you go to page 58 of the manual, it's going to talk about the monitor and the talkback screens. Now, I'm not going to go through and read all this verbatim, okay? This is so you can come up here and look and see where to find this information. And here we have the monitor tab, and this is what we're going to be concerned with right here, 7.10.1. And all the encoders, this can be done from the faceplate of the rack. If you don't use X32 Edit for your computer, you need to look into it. It makes life a whole lot easier, okay? But all this information it's giving you is what we're going to look at in X32 Edit, as well as over here under number 10, what all your monitor taps, okay? What signal are you going to listen to? And why do you want to choose? Okay, so at this point, let's go ahead and jump over to X32 Edit. Okay, guys, so here we are. So what we're going to do is come over here to the right, and we're going to click on the Monitor tab. And this is the information that we're going to be working with. I got to move a few screens around here. Give me just a second. So here we have our level meter. Okay, this is going to be our input level to what we're going to be listening to. And here we have our solo options that are listed on page 58. And I normally use these settings right here. Okay, and if you read the descriptions, you'll see that it's so unique you can set it up for however that you do your particular mixing. Okay, so I really can't tell you to select all of these or not select them. You have to do what's best for you. And here we have our delays. So on the delay, let's say that you're in your sound booth, you're 50 foot back, 100 foot back, you're up in the balcony, take a laser measure, shoot it down, see where you're at. And you can actually delay to where everything comes into sync from your front of house to where you're actual sitting, okay? And then you simply just sit here and work the delay right here. And as you can see, you can go by milliseconds or meters or feet. So that's what the delay is. If you want it on, simply click the button. Now, the dim. All this is a gain reduction. You have to remember that a bus is a avenue that sums several channels together. So you may very well click on a mix bus and the volume jump up tremendously. Okay, so that's what this dim is. If you engage it, you're saying, how much do I want to knock down that volume or reduce that volume? And here I've got mine set at negative 20 dBs. Okay, now here's the mono. This mono is simply from going from stereo to mono, just like the manual states. If you're in the studio or you're mixing down, if you want to play music, and this is kind of like radio ready stuff, to where it's coming out of a clock radio, it would be in mono, and you would be able to monitor these inputs in mono. And then, of course, we have our monitor source over here, and we have the mute button. Now, the source trim right here is going to be for the monitor source. The monitor level, this is the same thing, as the volume control on the mixer where your headphone would plug into. This also controls the monitor level if you're coming out of the rear of the mixer for your studio monitors. Okay, guys, I've got a CD loaded. I tried to do this with some tracks that Chad with Ascension Worship had put up, but apparently my computer's feeling a little stressed this morning. So what I've done is I've simply come into the auxiliary inputs 1 and 2, which is where my CD player is. And then I've simply come up to channels 1 and 2, and I brought the auxiliaries in through them. Auxiliary 1's going into channel 1, and auxiliaries going into channel 2. Okay? So if we turn our monitoring source on, we're just simply going to listen to the left and right bus.
Now can sing, praise God, praise God.
Okay? Now, I'm going to release this mute and come down here and mute it over here at the master fader level and watch what happens. Nothing. Okay? So this is your mute source on this particular tap point. Now, I wish I had something on the mono channel to show you, because if you're running your bass, your kick, your keys into this, you're going to hear a tremendous difference when you do this and add this middle channel in, and it would be basically the same thing. When you unmute it, you're going to get the left and the right, the mono and center channel, and your mute over here. Let's watch what happens.
His royal blood now flows in my...
Okay, so you can mute this from going to front of house if you're queuing something up. You want to listen to it, you're doing a virtual sound check. There's all kinds of options you can use here. Now, I'm going to go over here and go ahead and put these back in where I like them. And where do we have? Select follows solo and channel solo after final listen. So I'm going to leave it right there for now. And now let's go down here to the left, right. This is PFL is before the fader. So this is the signal coming in channel 1 and channel 2, which is going to be set here with your input gains.
My name is Bartimaeus.
Now, as you can see, again, the mute over here under the master fader does not have any effect. And now we have the left, right after final or fader listen or fader position, whatever you want to say.
While the people...
See what happens when I pull it down? So I can adjust the monitor mix that I'm listening to from the master fader, but just, be advised, if you've already got it set up for front of house, you may not want to mess with this.
Jesus was...
And as you can also see, the mute now works on this particular master fader.
blind men and...
Now, the auxiliary 5 and 6. There are 2 inputs on the back of the mixer. Keep in mind what I'm saying here. You've got your RCA jacks, and this is what most people are going to use for a CD player, maybe an iPod. Some of the older, it could be a reel-to-reel that have the RCA jacks, and this will allow you to monitor just that particular source. Now, I know it also has the 2 1/4-inch inputs as well, but in my line of thinking, it makes it easy for me is just to visualize a CD player being plugged into it. It could be an iPhone. It could be anything that's going in through the RCA jack or the auxiliary 5 and 6. Okay? Now, the auxiliary 7/8. This is internal. This is for your recorder right here. Okay? You can literally come in through your USB thumb drive and be able to hear what you're loading into the mixer. Okay? And that's basically it. So now let's look at the solo options over here. And let's go back to the left and right bus and then just watch what I do on the channels. Okay? Let me see. Mix bus solo after fader listen. Let's go ahead and engage that one so we can see what happens. And we're just going to go back left and right. Even though I don't have it, anything on the sub channel, this is what I'm going to, this is what I normally set it to.
Somebody, tell somebody, tell somebody. One touch made my eyes, and I must tell somebody.
Okay, so that's the exclusive, which is the last. The solo follows the select. So when I click something to solo, let's say that I want to solo channel 1, and for whatever reason, I want to come back over and solo channel 4. Now, I don't have to keep popping this window up. If I leave this setting that solo follows select, then, and I'm going to uncheck that one right there, I apologize for that, that whatever channel, whatever I'm going to click on now, it's going to solo. Okay, now right here, use dim for PFL. So if I click this, I don't have to touch this dim up here. And watch what happens. Listen to the volume drop there.
Sometimes I just want to thank you without asking you for a thing.
Okay, so as you can see, you have a tremendous amount of options here. And the easiest way to, follow this video, go up there and read the manual, starting at page 58. Come back and watch the video again, and you should have no problem whatsoever setting the monitor section up for your digital recorder and absolutely get the full benefit from using it. All right? Take care, God bless, and we are out of here.